Muhurta Matrimony. No registration charges and no premium packages. Select profiles you like and just pay 25 rupees per profile. Download Muhurta Matrimony from the Play Store.
A very warm welcome. You're watching One India English with me, Anubhuti Gaur, and today is the Constitution Day, also called as a National Law Day, and we're joined by the Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, Sidharth Luthra, who's also served as a former additional Solicitor General of India. Thanks a lot for joining us, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, sir. So today is the Constitution Day. So what do you think is the relevance of this day?
I think it is time for us to remember that our Constitution is what has made this country a cohesive, combined unit. It has protected our citizens. It has given our nation a sense of being. We really came together as a nation in 1947, and that was cemented in 1950 when we, the people of India, gave ourselves this constitution. It has gone through many changes. It has gone through, some may say, improvements. But the fact is the core of the constitution has stood this country in good stead, and it has made sure that we remain a functional, responsible democracy. Barring certain blips in the past, our democracy and our country has continued to function where there is space for people of all hues, colors, religions, castes, and creeds. And that is what is very important. So on this day, we, the citizens of India, must remember that this is a day when we informed ourselves as to the kind of nation we wanted. And it is time to remind ourselves of constitutional principles and then ensure that we must, as citizens, all adhere to it. I must tell you that there are, in the Constitution, the schedules to the Constitution, there are certain oaths which are to be taken by functionaries such as ministers, judges, MLAs, MPs. But those are functionaries who discharge public duties. But these oaths are meant for them because that's part of the requirement of their constitutional functions. However, my belief is that we as Indians must look at the Constitution and see how far it has brought us from the years of 1947 to the pre-independence times, and how we have continued in a manner unlike a lot of our neighbors. And it is time to reaffirm our faith and to ensure our commitment to making this nation a better place and keep working at it within Constitution.
So, what do you think what makes the Indian Constitution very unique?
The Indian Constitution is rather large, and some may say at some levels a little cumbersome. But what makes it unique is that it has stood the test of time. In the past 70 years, it has not only stood the test of time, it is inured. And the Indian Constitution is one which, as I said, has to contemplate the kind of variations in social, cultural, religious and regions in our country. So you have the North, which has its own unique culture. You have South India, which has its own great heritage and culture. You have West India, the seafaring part of India. And then you have this heart of India and Northern India. And there are myriad languages, myriad dialects. And yet the Constitution ensures that everybody within India has a space in this nation. And that is what is important. And that is what makes it very special.
So as we have seen that over the years, there have been a lot of amendments in the Constitution. What do you think is the relevance of these amendments? Do you think that is the way forward, that a constitution of a particular country should keep evolving?
The constitution of a country evolves in two ways. One is by amendments when you believe that there is a need to add or modify, because it's a living document. We are living with the Constitution. The second mechanism is through interpretation by courts. So, for example, if you look, privacy was not a defined right, yet 9 judges of the Supreme Court 2-3 years ago have determined that it is part of Article 21 of the Constitution. That's the judicial part. And then the right to education, Article 21A, came in through a constitutional amendment. So both go hand in hand. Time changes. We are not living in the years of the 1950s or 60s. We are living in a technological world. So the Constitution must deal with technological issues and must be flexible enough to accommodate the changes in social structures. And that's what we've done very successfully.
Do you think that, given the nature of our constitution, do you think that at this point of time we should invite debates? Should debates also be one of the natures to go ahead with our constitution?
I believe every body of law must be subjected to debate, and that must be a periodical thing, because it is important to see how has any law, and especially the constitution, fared over the past 70 years, over the past 10 years. And what are the issues that are going to concern our polity and our society in the next 10 years? So there is a constant need to re-examine, reaffirm, analyze. I'm not saying the constitution it has to be questioned or doubted, but there is always a need in any civilized society which is governed by the rule of law to evaluate its existing laws, and definitely also the constitutional principles. I'll give you a simple example. Why is it that we did not bring in the right to privacy, whereas we brought in the right to education? Surely, had there been a deeper study, it would not have taken 9 judges of the Supreme Court to pronounce on it, and this should have come from Parliament. Yet, we felt the need to right of education, which was the nudging by the Supreme Court. So this is an evolving process, and we must learn to analyze, to contemplate, analyze, assess, and evolve.
So, sir, on this Constitution Day, as one of the most senior-most lawyers of the Supreme Court, and you've also served as an additional Solicitor General, what is your message to the entire country?
My view is that within the Constitution and the manner in which the courts have interpreted the Constitution, there is scope for all of us, not as individuals belonging to any caste, creed, or religion, but as citizens of this wonderful nation. And it is important that all of us on this day reaffirm our faith in the Constitution and constitutional principles and work towards making this a great democratic nation. That is the message I would give to all your viewers. And that is something which I would like to affirm for myself. And I would request all of your viewers to affirm to themselves. There is, as I said, it's a wonderful constitution with great scope for unity within diversity. And we must appreciate unity within diversity is our strength. It is not our weakness. And that is what the Constitution teaches us.
Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks for giving us your time.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure this morning. And all the best to you and your viewers on Constitution Day.
Keep watching One India English.